they said he was just a pretty face. A social media star with fast hands but no heart. A fighter who'd crumble the moment boxing got real. What if I told you that same kid had 215 amateur wins before he was old enough to vote? What if I told you he sat in a car with a handful of pills, ready to end it all, then came back and knocked a once unbeatable champion down 3 times in a single night? And what if I told you the most controversial victory in modern boxing history might have been stolen from him by contaminated supplements, or might not have been? His name is Ryan Garcia. They call him King Ree. And the story you think you know is not the real one. Today you'll see it. Number 1. 215 wins before he turned pro. August 8, 1998. Victorville, California. A small desert city 90 miles northeast of Los Angeles. Ryan Garcia's father, Henry, had boxed professionally for a short time. When Ryan was 7 years old, Henry put gloves on his son's hands. Not for fun. For discipline. For direction. What followed was one of the most dominant amateur careers in American boxing history. By the time Garcia turned professional at age 17, he had compiled a record of 215 wins and just 15 losses. He won 15 national amateur championships. 15. Most fighters go their entire pro careers without winning one title. Garcia won 15 before he was legally allowed to drive. He turned pro on June 9, 2016. His first professional fight was in Tijuana, Mexico. He won by TKO. He was 17 years old. Within months he signed with Oscar de la Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions and began training alongside one of the greatest fighters alive, Canelo Alvarez, under coach Eddie Reynoso in San Diego. The kid from Victorville was in the same gym as the pound-for-pound king of boxing. And nobody outside the sport knew his name yet. That was about to change, but not the way anyone expected. Number 2. The viral left hook that made him a star overnight. Most fighters build a following over years. Ryan Garcia built his in 30 seconds. His Instagram account became something boxing had never really seen before. Not highlight reels. Not training montages. Just Garcia, at a heavy bag, moving his hands so fast the camera could barely track them. People who had never watched a boxing match in their lives were sharing the videos. The comments were identical. That can't be real. That has to be edited. Nobody moves that fast. It was real. Garcia's hand speed wasn't a marketing trick. It was the product of a decade of training that started before most kids his age had a phone. By 2019 and 2020, he had more Instagram followers than fighters who had been world champions for years. He was winning fights easily, finishing opponents in the first round, and becoming one of the most marketable young athletes in any sport. In 2021, Garcia signed a deal with Gatorade, becoming the first American boxer ever to appear in a Gatorade campaign. The problem with that kind of fame is what it hides. And what it was hiding in Ryan Garcia's case was something no highlight reel could show. Number 3. He sat in a car with pills ready to end his life. January 2, 2021. Garcia stops Olympic gold medalist Luke Campbell in the 7th round with a body shot. He wins the WBC interim lightweight title. He is 22 years old, undefeated, and the most exciting young fighter in boxing. By every visible measure, his life is perfect. 3 months later, he withdraws from his next scheduled fight. Then the truth started coming out. Garcia described a moment driving in a car, a handful of pills in his hand, telling himself he was done. He said he was so depressed he wanted to end his life and couldn't find a way out of his own mind. He described crying uncontrollably in Canelo's gym in San Diego for no reason he could explain, walking out mid-session, unable to stop. His lawyer Lupe Valencia walked with him outside for an hour while he couldn't collect himself. Garcia told a sports broadcaster he had started drinking heavily despite never drinking before and that the depression pulled him into habits he didn't recognize in himself. This was the fighter the world was calling the future of boxing. And he was sitting in a car wondering whether to swallow a handful of pills. He withdrew publicly, saying he needed to focus on his mental health and become a stronger version of himself, asking for professional help. He went to therapy for several months. He came back. Most people in his position would have kept it private. Garcia talked about it openly, repeatedly, to anyone who would listen. In a sport where showing weakness can end a career, he chose transparency. That took more courage than any punch he's ever thrown. Number 4. He got knocked down in round 2, then knocked out an Olympic champion in round 7. January 2nd, 2021. Same fight. Same night as the near-miracle comeback. In round 2 against Luke Campbell, Garcia hit the canvas for the first time in his professional career. A left hook sent him down, and for a moment, every critic seemed vindicated. Then Garcia rose, reset, and began breaking Campbell down with sharp right hands and blistering speed. In round 7, Garcia landed a left hook to Campbell's liver that left the Englishman unable to beat the count. Think about what that requires. You're 22 years old. You've been knocked down for the first time in your professional life in front of a national audience. Every instinct in the human body says protect yourself. Stay safe. Don't take risks. Garcia did the opposite. He walked back into danger and finished a man who had won an Olympic gold medal. That's not athleticism. That's something different. And the critics still didn't believe it was real because the Instagram star image was too powerful to see past. Number 5. He bet $12 million on himself before the biggest fight of his career. April 20th, 2024. Barclays Center, Brooklyn. Ryan Garcia vs. Devin Haney for Haney's WBC Super Lightweight title. Haney was as much as a -900 betting favorite going into fight week. He had never been knocked down in 31 previous professional fights. He was ESPN's 6th-ranked pound-for-pound boxer in the world. He was considered the technically perfect fighter, the anti-Garcia. Disciplined, methodical, untouchable. Garcia reportedly bet $12 million on himself before the fight. Not after he was confident. Before. When every number said he was going to lose. What happened in that ring stunned the boxing world. Garcia knocked Haney down 3 times in rounds 7, 10, and 11 on his way to a majority decision victory, handing Haney the first loss of his professional career. The performance was extraordinary. Garcia had been publicly erratic for months beforehand, posting strange things online, raising questions about his mental state, behaving in ways that made even his supporters nervous. And then he walked into Barclays Center and gave what appeared to be the greatest performance of his career. Appeared to be. Because the story wasn't finished. Number 6. The drug test that erased his greatest win. 3 weeks after the Haney fight, a letter leaked. The Voluntary Anti-Doping Association had tested Garcia and the results were not clean. Garcia had tested positive for ostarine, a banned performance-enhancing substance, on the day before and the day of the fight. Ostarine is a selective androgen receptor modulator that signals muscles to grow, used to build muscle mass, enhance fat loss, and increase stamina and recovery. His A sample returned positive. Then his B sample returned positive. Garcia's response was chaotic. He posted sarcastic statements on social media. He denied everything. He said he didn't even know what ostarine was. His legal team argued that 2 supplements he had declared on his doping control forms tested positive for trace amounts of contaminated ostarine in the billionth of a gram range and that this proved accidental ingestion, not deliberate cheating. Testing of the actual supplement containers Garcia submitted showed trace ostarine in both products. His team argued the ultra-low levels detected, combined with a clean hair sample, pointed to contamination rather than intentional use. But Haney's camp produced a counter-argument. Anti-doping advocate Victor Conti claimed that when the supplement companies sent sealed containers with the same lot numbers for independent testing, both came back negative, suggesting tampering rather than contamination. Garcia was suspended for 1 year, fined $1.1 million, and his win over Haney was overturned to a no contest. The fight that the boxing world had watched, the 3 knockdowns, the upset, the vindication, was wiped from the record books. Haney was 31-0 again. Garcia was suspended. And the truth of what actually happened that night may never be fully resolved. Number 7. The WBC expelled him and he lost everything in 30 days. The summer of 2024 was the most destructive period of Ryan Garcia's professional life, and it happened with astonishing speed. WBC President Mauricio Suleiman wrote publicly that Garcia had declined multiple attempts at help for mental health and substance abuse and announced Garcia's expulsion from all WBC activity. In June 2024, Garcia was arrested after causing an estimated $15,000 in damage to a room and hallway at the Waldorf Astoria Hotel in Beverly Hills. The following month he was criminally charged with misdemeanor vandalism. His ex-wife Andrea Salina accused him of breaking into her home and destroying her belongings, and posted screenshots of messages she said revealed aggressive behavior fueled by alcohol struggles. In the same period, Garcia posted inflammatory content on social media that drew widespread condemnation and led to further sanctions. His reputation, his record, his title, his standing with the WBC, all of it gone inside a single summer. The kid who had been boxing's most marketable star was now its most radioactive name. He was 25 years old. Number 8. He came back. Then lost again. Then became world champion anyway. When Garcia returned from suspension to face Rolando Romero in May 2025, he was dropped in the second round and lost a clear unanimous decision. For a fighter trying to rebuild a shattered reputation, this was the worst possible outcome. Writing him off at that point wasn't dramatic, it was logical. Then on February 21, 2026, at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Garcia faced WBC welterweight champion Mario Barrios in a pay-per-view main event called The Ring, High Stakes. The added layer of strange, Barrios was trained by Joe Goosen, who had previously trained Garcia himself. Garcia won a 12-round unanimous decision with scorecards of 120-107, 119-108, and 118-109. He dropped Barrios in the first round. It was a masterclass from start to finish. "It feels good to finally be a world champion," Garcia said afterward. "It's something I've been dreaming of since I was 7 years old." From the expulsion, the arrests, the drug suspension, the hotel destruction, the loss to Romero to the WBC welterweight championship of the world. That arc, in under 2 years, is either the most remarkable comeback in recent boxing history or proof that Ryan Garcia simply refuses to stay down. Maybe both. Number 9. The amateur record nobody talks about. Here's the part of Ryan Garcia's story that gets lost in every controversy. Garcia started boxing at age 7 and dreamed of representing the United States at the 2016 Olympics. The Olympics didn't happen for him. But what he built on the way to that dream is staggering. 215 wins, 15 losses, 15 national championships. As an amateur. Before he was 17 years old. To put that in context, most fighters who reach the professional ranks have never won a national championship. Garcia won 15 of them as a teenager in Victorville, California, training under his father in a sport that requires years before any talent becomes visible. Even Canelo Alvarez, who doesn't speak English, and Garcia, who doesn't speak Spanish, built a genuine training partnership based purely on the craft they shared. You don't get invited into that gym on social media followers. You get invited because the people in that gym can see what you actually are as a fighter. The influencer label has followed Garcia his entire career. It has always been the wrong label. He was a champion before anyone knew his name. Number 10. The story isn't over, and that's the point. Ryan Garcia is 27 years old. He is the current WBC welterweight champion of the world. He has been knocked down and gotten up. He has been expelled from a governing body and won its title anyway. He has fought with suicidal depression and talked about it publicly in a sport that punishes vulnerability. He has had his greatest win erased by a drug test that may or may not reflect the full truth. He has destroyed hotel rooms and been arrested. He has knocked an Olympic gold medalist out with a body shot and knocked an unbeaten champion down 3 times in one night. He is the most complicated figure in boxing right now because none of the simple stories about him are true. He is not just an influencer. He is not just a troubled mess. He is not just a cheat. He is not just a hero. He is all of those things simultaneously, and the sport has never quite known how to hold that. What is undeniable is this: Ryan Garcia, the 7-year-old kid from Victorville whose father put gloves on his hands, is now the WBC welterweight champion of the world. And he got there by a route that no one, not his supporters, not his critics, not even Garcia himself, could have predicted or scripted. Some fighters become champions through a clean straight line. Ryan Garcia's line goes through depression, pills in a car, erased victories, hotel damage, expulsion, and a unanimous decision at T-Mobile Arena. Let us know in the comments which story shocked you the most. Like, share, and subscribe for more stories about fighters who refuse to let the narrative about them be written by anyone else. Because the only story that matters is the one that ends with the belt.